hope that you are awesome wherever you are. And I'm not sure if I need my light, but I'm going to grab it anyway. Should be right here. All right, let's put that on. Okay, so I just use a little clip-on light in front of the window. Okay, so there are things that are shifting very, very quickly. Okay, there are so many things that are collapsing right now on deeper levels. Okay, things that are collapsing from within you. Okay, and also collapsing in the outer collective. The real ones are beginning to rise. People who are listening to these particular transmissions that are coming across, you're all starting to be more like yourself. Be more authentic to who you are, right? I have done so much work over this last week with people, with their transmissions and different things that I'm working on with people, right? And every single one of them have said the same thing to me, that they cannot believe what has changed in their life since just opening themselves up to this without even realizing exactly what it is. And something that I said on my message yesterday for you all was that that there are people that are focusing their intention in such a different way that it's causing the collapse of anything false without even trying, like I said, like around you. Now, every single person who is dimming their power, okay, to stay acceptable is about to ignite. This just has no choice but to happen, okay? People who don't believe or who are just still walking around with their head in the sand, we can't do anything about that. People need to come to this when they're ready to understand. The old ways are going to be given a revamp. For example, I was talking to you about Reiki. I am a Reiki master. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of courses on Reiki. Okay, I'm about to put them all on my Teachable, like coming up over the next few months, right? For people who are still there, people who are still looking at that, I'm not ever going to diss anything that we've already learnt so far. But what I've discovered is that there are even more powerful ways that were kept from us. Okay, so if you are a Reiki master, what if your abilities with the Reiki, say for example, become 1,000 times better? What if your connection or abilities become 1,000 times stronger? What if your healing capacity, in whatever way that is, becomes 1,000 times stronger? Because that's how it's supposed to be. So what I'm doing is I'm going over all of our spiritual methods that we've had over our whole lives, right? And recreating those with the original intention within them. These are all going to start happening. I have no choice. So this is what's burning inside of me, is that there is an easier, stronger, more powerful, authentic way that wasn't infiltrated with fake lights, let's just say. Your soul is going to stop asking, you as a soul, you're going to stop asking for permission. As I said yesterday in my video, we all came to our spiritual connection in the beginning because something was lacking. We had a loss. We had a horrible upbringing. We had health problems, right? We had issues with our digestion or our heart or whatever it was. Or you wanted to understand messages from your loved ones, or you wanted to open up your skills, or maybe you were told that you were psychic somewhere along the line, so you wanted to open this up more. We did what we did, right, to get where we are today. Everything has its place. But now we're fast tracking a lot of things, opening ourselves up to all that we truly are as divine architects. Okay, so your truth is about to get loud again. I am going to do a little bit of messages here from the astrology reading cards. Okay, we are in a Mercury retrograde phase. Okay, so one thing about Mercury, something that I have figured out. Okay, we all know Mercury is communication. Okay, we know that it has a lot to do with electronics and you know, our computers going haywire, or things not uploading, or videos not working properly on Mercury retrograde. Okay, when you look at Mercury retrograde, which is it started sort of in Sagittarius and Scorpio, okay, it's a good idea to look at Sagittarius and Scorpio in your chart, right? Say if Mercury's retrograde there, see what houses they are. Because when Mercury is retrograde, okay, it causes an inner look at your mental health. Mercury is about mental health as well as it is just in communication. So you're looking at how you are communicating with yourself and what house that is. So how are you communicating with yourself about home if it's in the fourth house? How are you communicating about your mother if it's in the fourth house? How are you communicating with yourself about the past if it's in the fourth house, right? And so on, sort of looking at yourself on these deeper levels. And that's what's happening also energetically, collectively, right? You're understanding that you're not broken, you're not behind, you're not wrong, you haven't been wrong, okay? The feeling, the spirit, the energy that you have had your whole life to do things differently, or to be unique to yourself, or to step out into all of this energetic work, is your flame-bearing energy, right? You don't need to ask for signs, because you are the sign, okay? You are the messenger, you are the giver. But you also have to learn that you have to come first in this energy too. And many people are starting to learn to put those very, very strong boundaries in place, because the self is important to master the self. That is what we're all here for, right? And as I bring you this message today, you're starting to remember who you really are. And the timeline, it rearranges itself around that truth. You knowing who you are, you enforcing boundaries, you beginning to understand that everything that you've learned so far can be magnified. These are things that you're going to be taught and activated within you, okay? So, as I wasn't even going to make a video today because I do have stuff to do. So I'm just going to keep this one a little bit shorter. But we're going to do a little message from these astrology reading cards for all who are listening. Okay. So, let's see what's activating right now. We have Neptune, your fantasies, yearnings, longings, potential for illusion. Why was I talking about the fourth house? There it is, the fourth house. Seventh house. The second house. All right, let's sum this up. And the third house, we were talking about Mercury. Underneath we have Mars, which is flame, putting us into action, your drive, your dedication, your direction, okay? physical energy, fighting spirit. Okay, where's Mars on your chart? But the thing of it is that you do have to kind of know what time you were born to get it more accurate. I use a pendulum because I don't know exactly the exact minute time, okay? But I do use a pendulum to try to figure it out. And also you can kind of tell by the descriptions, like when you start figuring it out, you can tell by the descriptions who you are, okay, and things that you've been through, etc. So we have Mars underneath, pushing us forward. So with Neptune and the fourth house being our first two cards, again, this is not about your chart right now. Some people are like, I don't have that in my chart. It's okay. This is a message for us. Neptune makes things bigger and can cause things to become out of control a little bit. So with the fourth house being here, again, it does represent mother because it's connected with the star sign Cancer. It is connected with the roots of your being, right? The foundation of your success. And this may be showing you that what you're doing is different than what anybody would think of for you. That they may think it's a fantasy, that they may think it's just too far out there, right? Without really giving you a chance. Because what's going to happen to all of you flame bearers is that you're going to, you're not going to prove anything that's going on with you with words at all, right? So anything that, like if you were trying to explain to somebody, this is what I'm going through, you're not going to get it. It has to be how you look, how you're reacting, your emotional senses, and all of this. Now, the fourth house is connected to our home life, okay? Because usually the bottom sort of section of your chart is connected with the past or your foundations, okay? Who you are because of those things, how you see things, right? So your first house, your ascendant, your rising sign, these are all powerful indications of who you are, and whatever planets there can increase or take away from your personality or bring lessons or blessings, okay? But in this energy here, it's like there is something from your childhood that has caused a fracture in a little bit of a way that causes you to doubt yourself and causes you to wonder if you're being crazy in some way, right? Or maybe somebody told you were. The funny thing is that it, not that I don't want to amplify anything I don't want, obviously, right? But when I was a kid, everything was about me being useless. It constantly was said to me all of the time. And so in my mind, okay, in my mind, sometimes an echo of that where, well, this is useless or you're useless will come up. It's quickly gone, right? But sometimes there's an echo of that. And so I'm getting that message to tell you that there is perhaps something that is echoing a false energy towards you, a false belief, okay? And what can happen is that because it comes from such a young age, right, it is kind of ingrained a little bit. So I'm just getting this message to step out of the energy of what people's fantasies are or what their projections were upon you. They felt useless. They called that for me, right? Because I used to be clumsy. So that made me feel stupid and dumb and all of those kinds of things, right? I thought, well, at least I got my sense of humor going for me. But it was, in fact, the sense of humor developed because I felt that was what I had going on. Anyway, right, so just look at the things that are echoing to you and shut that down. You will have bigger epiphanies quicker if you do start to really manage what is going on in your brain, okay? Because it reflects itself in your body as well. And there is a healing happening. For some of you, there is a change of direction that you didn't expect. For some of you, there is also a need to really ground yourself a little bit more, and perhaps you're not connecting into the center of the earth. Perhaps you don't have your flame wall on. I'm not sure what you're doing, but these have to become your new normal in order for you to see the benefits of this work. Okay, if those inner doubts continue to rise, okay, then you need to remember that you're allowing that to be your reality still. We don't want to carry things from the past all of the time, but we must recognize if something is coming up and why it's happening. Sometimes it's a movie we're watching or something, or someone says something random and you're like, oh my God, that just sparked a whole memory for me. Or you see those stupid memories come up on Facebook and you're like, oh my God, that's where I was, you know, that's what I was doing, kind of thing. Now, along here we have our resources with the second house. This is your resources. And the seventh house is partnerships. Okay. So where the if you did if you put a big plus sign on a circle, okay, then you have the eastern side, okay, as your rising sign, right on the line, okay, and then your descendant, so ascendant, descendant, is right on the line opposite this, the seventh spot on the western side, okay. And so the first part of it, like your rising sign, okay, indicates you individually, and then the descendant indicates partnerships or long-term connections, but also friends can be here, and how you okay, how you interact with others too, how you move into a room, how you invite friends in your life, right? How you treat friends or what sort of friends you have. So what you have here is you have the second house, which is your money, your resources, right? Beauty. It's connected with Venus, things that you value. So Venus can make things more beautiful. You could be a really beautiful person, right? Hot stuff. And then the seventh house, although it's not directly the ascendant energy, a descendant, sorry, is connected with the long-term goals, the long-term partnerships, the long-term connections. So as you understand yourself, right, on these deeper levels, you start to draw towards you the long-term connections that you really want to have. Long-lasting business success, you know, all of the things that you are earning from the second house, and developing into partnerships and connections with others, and maybe there'll be some kind of collaborations or something like this too. And because Libra rules the seventh house here, and Taurus rules these, we'll also look at the energy of those planets as well. And we have the Venus here, right? And then we have, what is it, Uranus? Hang on. No, yeah, maybe. Hang on. Why can't I think? So what's, hang on a minute. Nope, I don't want that. I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. It might be Venus as well. Yeah, so we got a double Venus whammy here. Okay. Yeah. Venus too. Okay, so we're getting this expansion, we're getting these blessings, we're understanding ourselves. The message that I feel that's going on here is that the flame is rising within each one of you. And because of this, you're burning away old contracts, old mimic footholds, old spiritual practices, and being in service. I'm a light worker. I'm just going to continue to work. That's not how it's meant to be, right? That's why I changed everything that I was doing to light leadership, because we need more leaders in this stuff, not people who are just working and pushing and struggling and then circling and circling, right? So when Venus comes into this, it brings us the things that we want. It brings us things around us that are beautiful because of the efforts that we are making, because of the determination that we have to change things, right? And we change things by examining the things that don't work. And luckily, you've got someone like me whose brain constantly investigates and thinks and puts things together. And yes, being a detective or something like that was something I totally should have done, but it would have taken me away from all of this. But I love that, right? Figuring things out. So here we are figuring things out about ourselves and recognizing the old distant echoes and patterns that were bothering us, and bringing ourselves instead into this beauty, into this next phase, into things that are bigger for us and things that we feel good about, right? Things that feel good. People that live and live in marriages that they hate and jobs that they hate. Why? What's the benefit to you? Like, why are you doing that? You need to discover why. Because you can't find nothing else. Yes, you can if you let go of what these doors are. These doors are remaining open and holding you into low self-esteem. When you shut them, you have the expectation that something better arrives because of that decision that you've made, right? So assets, finances, things that you deserve are coming in. And then we have the third house of communication, which is ruled by Mercury, which is, of course, what I was just talking about in the beginning. And Mercury is in retrograde. So the way that you communicate, what you're learning is changing, and it's forcing you to look within. This can also be about your local neighborhood, your short journeys can come up here, and siblings and things, and your way of communicating, or how you did with those, or whether you have any or not, doesn't really matter. But it's like there is something that you perhaps need to voice, to communicate in a more determined and powerful way, because you have this Mars here. So maybe it could be as stupid as, like, okay, someone is saying to you, come and play golf with us, and it's something that's athletic, right? And you're like, oh, I don't know whether I want to do that. Whereas you're being sort of guided to say, no, thank you, I'll do something else. Or yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's just break through that barrier a little bit and do something different, right? So the way that you're communicating will become more powerful, will become more goal-oriented, right? Which means, and unfortunately, it means that less and less and less are you going to be able to handle all the naysaying, right? All the negativity, all the desperation, all the drama, right? All of the moaning about stuff. You can't have that and have a happy life. You can't have both. And you can't be the one that always fixes everything. And I talked about this before. Don't fix everything for everybody. They don't learn anything by you taking over like that. You're not gaining any points for doing it, right? It's like you're just running yourself ragged, and then you're being upset about it because nobody noticed or nobody cared or nobody did it, yet you were doing it, you know? So we have to kind of own what habits that we have that are detrimental to us. It's not someone else's fault if you've always said, I'll do it, I'll take care of it. That's not someone else's fault. And you would like to be, people to acknowledge what you're doing, but they don't if you're always going to do it, When you stop doing it, that's when they notice, hey, what's going on here? Aren't you going to fix? Or, no, I'm not going to actually do it, You can do it. And part of that comes from this fact where we feel like we can do it right. So instead of asking, or instead of, you know, creating a fuss or something, we just go ahead and do it. But when you say no, what happens to people is they're like, well, I'm just going to get so much flack from everybody, and it's just not worth it. I might as well just keep my mouth shut and do, right? That habit you have to stop by saying, when I say no, people respect me, right? Because otherwise what you're doing is you're saying, when I say no, people think I'm a jerk. I don't want people to dislike me, so I'm going to do it even though I hate it. So that's how you've set that up. So now you set it up in a different way. People are going to respect me when I say no, because it forces people to say, okay, I can't manipulate that person. Respect gained. You see? It starts to be like, if you really don't want to be the one that's doing it all, okay, then you have to be the one that stops it all. You really do. I see this a lot with people, especially that are trying to feel like they need to fit in or trying to lose weight, that I see them actively always doing for others and hating it. And it just builds this big tension, like they're absorbing like a sponge everybody and everything, and then, you know, constantly living on the edge. Like, how long does your body deal with that? So this is one way that you can start that process of shedding. Is no. Actually, the answer is no. And it means you're going to have to really stop yourself from jumping up and taking care of everything, right? I know. But it is much easier once you've done it, right? It starts to get easier. You start to go, oh my God, I'm so relieved right now. Okay. So those are some of the messages that were coming up, right? And again, you can get your own transmissions. Come to my webinars. There's going to be some simple structured courses that will be coming. Okay, that's all coming. I wrote this book in, look how different I am now. That was in 2013. Now, obviously I'm a lot older now, but I feel like I am 10 years younger than this, right? Anyway, I'm going to turn to a random page. This was self-published, and I used Balboa Press, self-published. So I had to, you know, you do have to fund it all yourself, get all of the stuff. So anyway, here we go. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Random page. This is bibliomancy. When you turn to a random page and get a message. Mihael, the angel of lasting love, is with you. When we see this, it indicates that there is a sudden wedding that you might attend. The feeling of love and romance is all around you. So therefore we got that seventh house. And Venus. But part of you may feel that you are losing your best friend. Nevertheless, this is a good time to make a commitment and start a new relationship. Also, there will be ends to delays and fast movement indicated on every level. Thank you, Mihael. Archangel Mihael, everlasting love. You are eternally loved, and you are also called to see the love that lies within everyone. Archangel Mihael, not to be confused with Archangel Michael, is one of the archangels who is in charge of helping souls to discover the deepest love that can be attained on the earth at this time. For some people, finding a twin flame is a lifelong goal, but what most do not realize is that a twin flame is very rarely a connection that happens on earth. This is why this whole twin flame movement drove me crazy years ago. It is generally a connection that happens whilst one is on earth and the other is in spirit. So, but what will happen is that your twin flame will help to guide you to a suitable substitute, in a sense, a representative of themselves on earth. So instead of searching everywhere for this twin flame or even a soulmate, why not adopt a different approach? Ask and accept that you are already on the path to the right person for you. Archangel Michael and the angels of love will work to help you become ready for everlasting love to occur. Sometimes you may meet people who seem right at the beginning, but turn out all wrong for you. Those people are placed in your path until you're ready to accept that you are worth more than this. When you truly love yourself and are strong in your belief of real, lasting love, you will attract a soul who has also done this preparation work and is ready for the real deal. Do not wish for anything. Start to live as though it is already taking place and already being prepared for you. Okay? In the back of, itchy, angels. In the back of this book, there is a ton of angels that you can talk to for abundance, abilities, right? Past lives, spirituality, automatic writing, ancient knowledge. So Raziel comes in at number 1 for ancient knowledge as well. And angels of mediumship, intuition, auras, chakra balancing, angels of perception for your body in general, for weight issues, hearing, vision, addictions, cancer, feet, speech, pain, for your hands, for disabilities, for disease, for wellness, for blood disorders as well here. Angels of love, angels of health, healing, and miracles. Okay, so it's helpful when you're asking for support is to have belief in it actually happening. Otherwise, what's the point of asking, right? So this is important as well. So I wanted to, this loving vibe has been coming up a lot in the cards. We had it in the dragon messages yesterday. Speaking of which, it is Dragonfire time, so you may find yourself ready to go, like it just launch, ignites, okay? There is so much to uncover about yourself, okay? And there are so many things that many of you have locked down. So I have available also is flame immersion connections. So one is a 6-8 week thing, and another one is a 12-week thing. And you work with me personally on these things because I just know that this particular work is going to explode, okay? Because all the flame bearers, all of you all are waking up. You're going to see things happen in the spiritual community and go, oh my God, she was already talking about this. This is happening. We're moving forward. And it's going to be that much bigger that my individual services may not always be there, right? So I offer these things to get you into a place where you are on track, okay? And I work with you personally on these. There are payment options, etc. There will be courses coming that will be accredited. As an international training provider of holistic medicine, I'm able to put all of this new stuff under my banner as well. So that means that as these courses come forward, they are accredited internationally. There will be new Reiki, there will be new healing methods, there'll be new shamanic methods and new dragon healing methods and all the things and little words that we used to have, and just make them 1,000 times better, right? And animal stuff. So I'm working on our dogs at the moment, and I want to get a video of that later once it's all sort of worked out, so I can show you start to finish how to start working on your animals too, right? So thanks so much for listening and being here. I hope to see you on the 30th. There'll be more before then, okay? Sending you lots of love and many blessings, of course. And don't forget, you know exactly where my links are, etc. And until the next time, bye for now.